Welcome back to Final Fantathon, our quest to casually Let's Play every single Final Fantasy game in the main series, and other bonus games as well. It's good to have you back. We have so much to talk about today, and it's going to be an amazing day. I think we're going to be doing a double day today as well, so you'll be seeing 8 episodes this week on YouTube, as long as we don't have any internet issues, which I don't think we will. But yeah, it's been a crazy week for me. We started off the week out. It was a pretty frustrating week for me. At the start, my son wasn't doing great at the NICU, and we were having internet issues on Twitch, and it's just been like an awful week. And then Wednesday, the internet issue that we've been having for like several months was finally, I believe, fixed completely by someone in our community named Quantum Rand. He finally figured it out after like all of us coming together and trying to figure it out for like months. So that was like the greatest feeling ever. And then my son ended up doing much better the last couple of days, and it's looking like he's going to be coming home soon. So that was amazing. And on the same day, PS5 had their big show, and they released the trailer for Final Fantasy 16. And we talked about that. So that was a crazy day. That was like one of the craziest days. So, and I put up a video of Final Fantasy 16 of us looking at it. If you want to check that out. But I don't know. It's interesting. I'm interested to hear everyone's opinions. I've already read a lot of opinions on the video. A lot of people left comments about their opinions. But I'm interested to hear you guys' opinions, because in that video, that was kind of like my first look at it. And I was excited because it was Final Fantasy 16, and I didn't think we'd be getting it anytime soon. So I was going at it pretty positively, but looking back on it, a lot of people are having some negative feedback of it. Like, people understand that it was just the very first trailer, so it doesn't seem like anyone's completely jumped ship yet. But there were some complaints, and I kind of agree with them now that I'm looking at it. Like, the game's graphics look early PS4-ish. Which, like, okay, I was on another stream yesterday, and people were saying that, like, well, maybe Square finally stopped caring so much about that stuff, and they're returning to their roots and trying to make just a good game. And that's exciting. But it does kind of bother me that the graphics are so, like, subpar, because Final Fantasy has always been that series that Square uses to push the envelope, you know? Like, they've always been, like, Final Fantasy 7 was revolutionary, Final Fantasy 10 was revolutionary, you know, almost every Final Fantasy has been revolutionary in some way. They're always pushing the envelope with the series and putting everything they can into it to make it, like, the most amazing feat of technology at that time. So I was really expecting Final Fantasy 16 to really show off, like, the PS5's capabilities, because that's what they've always done. So it's a bit weird to see it, like, not look that great. It just makes you feel like they're not putting in a lot of work, which makes sense to me, because they have a lot of other things going on right now, like the remake and stuff. So that has me worried a bit. That kind of has me worried a bit, like they're not putting all of their effort into it. But, having said that, a less graphically enhanced Final Fantasy that's more based on, like, making a good game would be really nice too. So, I don't know, we'll have to see. But that was just something that a lot of people brought up. I feel like that's a fair point. Like, it doesn't look that great. And the characters really kind of look bad. I hope the characters look better. Like I said before, I liked the main character. A lot of people didn't. They thought he looked like some like punk rock band member. or something, but I liked him. But I agree that we need to see more. And the other characters were kind of poop. Yeah, and I said he looks like stereotypical Square Enix character, but at the same time, I thought he looked cool. What else? People said all of the fights were one-on-one, which to me is just a trailer thing. Like, they haven't decided how the party system's going to work yet, so they just didn't show it. But could you imagine if that's actually what it was? Like, the whole game is just 1v1 fights? That would be way... That would, like, I personally would kind of like that, just because I like one-on-one combat. But for a Final Fantasy game, that's bad. Like, that, I think everyone can agree that's not what Final Fantasy is supposed to be. You know, that's way too... If you're going to make a Final Fantasy game that's all one-on-one fights, then it needs to not be Final Fantasy. It needs to be a spin-off game, you know? Also, people were talking about Yoshi P and how he's working on it, so everyone's thinking it's going to be a Devil May Cry type deal, and I was already commenting about how it looked like Devil May Cry. So, that adds even more fuel to the fire that it's potentially Devil May Cry-ish. Which, I don't know, man. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I am very open to them pushing Final Fantasy into new, like, types of gameplay and stuff. But even though I'm pretty open to it, I still feel like it shouldn't be called Final Fantasy 16 if it's going to be that crazy different. You know what I mean? Like, even someone that is excited about the concept of a Devil May Cry Final Fantasy, I still feel like it kind of shouldn't be Final Fantasy 16. It should kind of be Final Fantasy May Cry or something, like, so just have a different name or something. I don't know. It'll be interesting. We'll see. I mean, after Final Fantasy 16, I feel like everyone should be open to anything, because 16 was so not Final Fantasy that I think we should all be open to anything at this point if we were willing to let 15 slide. Which I wasn't, but some people were. If you're someone that played Final Fantasy 16 and was like, or 15 and was like, this is good for Final Fantasy, then you should be open to anything, you know, in terms of the next game, because 15 was not even close to a Final Fantasy. It was a completely different thing. Which, like I said, if that's what they're going for, then that's what they're going for. I think if you're gonna, like, send Final Fantasy completely off the rails of, like, an RPG and make it more of an action thing, then Final Fantasy 15 should just be the last Final Fantasy, and they should just start a new series. You know, kind of like they should do Final Fantasy X1. You know, wow, look at all that stuff I got. They should do Final Fantasy X1, Final Fantasy X2, like Mega Man did, where it's like, yeah, it's still Mega Man, but it's different. So, and yeah, even 15 sounds like a logical endpoint. So, but not for Square. Square will milk Final Fantasy forever. And they know that... Don't equip the longbow. Why? I like my mace. Stop getting rid of my mace. I still don't know if Bronze Shield or Buckler's better. There we go. I knew someone could equip that stuff. Yellow Tropton, thank you for the bits. And Evil, thank you for the 6 months. And C-Mark, thank you for the host. And Dragon, thank you for the 13 months. It's good to have you here, dude. Yeah, I don't know. Like, Square knows that X1 wouldn't sell as well. They know that they have to make it the big number. Final Fantasy 16, it sounds like you have to get it just for the sake of getting it. And they know that, so they're never going to stop. I foresee the rest of our lives being Final Fantasy 20, 21, 22, 23. To the point where we're getting... I mean, I'm just waiting for Final Fantasy 30, to be honest. That's the only one I care about. Final Fantasy XXX. Is that when they just go, like, full... They go full, like, dementia? Final Fantasy 30 is the one where, like, they mix Final Fantasy with that anime with the girls on the water boats squirting each other with super soakers. Have you seen that anime? They're gonna do a cross tie with that anime. You're gonna have Yuna, Tifa. I don't know. Who else? All the girls of the series. Renoa. Riding around on jet skis. Squirting super soakers at each other. You're blind, so why don't you cure yourself? Cross-dressing Cloud will be there too. He'll be a bonus character. It is pretty... It's very weird to me how little Square has done with all their characters, by the way. I've always thought that was weird, you know? Like, Nintendo comes up with a couple characters, and they're like, let's make a Smash game, let's make, you know, kart game, let's make all these games that, like, involve all the characters. And Sony kind of does the same thing. Square never really, I mean, they have Dissidia. That's it, you know, like, I always kind of wonder why they didn't do more with all these characters that everyone literally, like, cosplays more than anyone else. Like, their characters, I think it's safe to say that the Final Fantasy franchise has the most popular characters in terms of, like, worshipping the ground they stand on when they're only in one game. You know what I mean? I mean, granted, Final Fantasy VII is a bit bigger, but and some of the games have small sequels, but, like, think of all the times you've seen Squall cosplays, or Renoa cosplays, or just those characters being used in fan-made projects, and they're only in one game, you know? Like, it's just one game that came out in '99, and we're still talking about them. It's kind of crazy when you think about it that way. Mario has been this thing that's been ingrained into our conscious for every year that we've been alive. Whereas Final Fantasy VIII was released once. And, like, people are still talking about it. People are still analyzing the characters and stuff. It's wild. And yet, really, all they've ever done is just Dissidia. Emblem, thank you for the 11 months, dude. Appreciate it a lot. Oh, I did have one thing to show you guys. I want to show you this before I forget. So, this version is the very first version, as you know, the first English version that came out here in North America. Final Fantasy Origins on PS1. There was another version released, I believe, in 2006. And it was for Game Boy. It was the Game Boy version. It was called Final Fantasy 1 and 2 Dawn of Souls, I believe. And in that version, they did the translation completely different. Apparently, the creator said that he wanted the translation to be different so that it was easier to read on Game Boy. So they took all the Japanese text again and translated it to English again, but they did it trying to make everything kind of shorter and more concrete. And they tried to do it better than this one, since this one's translation was kind of bad. So in the Game Boy version, Gus's name is correctly Guy. And the line that we all made fun of, I speak animal noises or whatever, I forget the exact line, was changed to this one. Guy speak beaver. And I thought that was the greatest thing ever, so I had to share that. So if you ever play the Game Boy version, be sure to remember this, to pay attention during the scene. The guy just says, Guy speak beaver. Like, they could, I thought for sure they couldn't make it any funnier. But they somehow, they somehow made it even better. They somehow made it even more great. Yeah, we can make Guy speaks beaver a quote. Wait, was it speaks or speak? Oh, too late now, I added it. Okay, I blew it. I think... I forget how to delete. I'll have to look at it. I'll figure it out later. I'll delete it and replace it with speak. Yeah, the Game Boy version has a lot of different improvements. It also looks really nice, especially for a Game Boy game. Still having issues with these turtles. I only have so much magic. I need to use magic more, so I have it, so it's stronger. This guy, our beaver. It's way easier. I've heard that this game is pretty hard, so I'm not surprised that they made the Game Boy version easier. So, Gamer, thank you so much for the 1500, by the way. We'll catch you later, man. Yo, Lago with another 4 gifted subs. Holy cow. This guy's on fire this morning. Thank you so much. And Napaz, thank you for the host. I'm gonna let those play out because we're just walking around. Who else has heal? Everybody having heal is so nice. Yeah, you did make that emo. So, oh, you just did a thing. So we talked about Final Fantasy 16. What'd you guys think of the other stuff they showed at the PS5 thing? Honestly, I watched the whole thing, or not the whole thing, but I had it actually sitting there on silent while I was streaming, because it was happening while I was streaming. And I forget everything else because of Demon Souls. Like, I saw Demon Souls, and I was like, forget all the other games. Like, holy cow. Demon Souls looked incredible. The Demon Souls is the first and only game that actually looks like a PS5 game. All the other ones looked like either mid to late PS4 games, and Final Fantasy XVI looked like an early PS4 game. Demon Souls blew it completely out of the water. Demon Souls looked like the future. Like, holy cow. That scene where he's fighting the big fat demon that you fight at the beginning of the game. Oh my god. Like, if you haven't seen it, you gotta go see that. Just, even if you're not interested in Demon Souls, go watch it just to see, just to get hyped for the PS5, you know? Because holy cow, it looked incredible. Like, even if you're, like I said, it's not even about Demon Souls. Like, if you're not into Demon Souls, that's fine. But just, it made me excited for the PS5 for the first time. For real, you know? I've been excited for the PS5 just because it's a new console, and I personally really like new consoles. I've always thought that's really fun. I remember as a kid getting a PS3 for the first time, taking it home and just playing around with the UI for like hours. I remember getting my PS4 and playing around with the UI for hours because there was nothing to play. I remember, I specifically remember playing with the UI for an hour, playing Resogun for 30 minutes, and then playing with the UI for another couple hours. And then the rest of the week was playing Resogun and wishing there was other things to play. Yeah, I was just excited for, like, a new console. But I wasn't really excited for the PS5 specifically. And Demon Souls is the first time I was like, oh my god, like, this console is going to be amazing. So, that was cool. As for the game, it does look good. I'm actually a big fan of Demon Souls, specifically Demon Souls. Demon Souls is the first one I played. I think a lot of people played Dark Souls first. But I actually did play Demon Souls first, and I liked it a lot. And I have a lot of fond memories of playing that with my buddy, so I'm pretty excited for Demon Souls. I think it'll be good. Who died? Okay, don't you have... I thought someone had life now. Or no, not yet. We actually have enough gil to get Phoenix Downs now. Shockingly. Gordon the Worthless. I could probably just keep going, because Gordon's pretty bad, but it's all good. I'm enjoying just kind of doing this dungeon and getting stats. And I feel like I still need some stats. Especially Maria needs to use more magic, so I can actually have a good magic caster. And she needs to get better with the mace, because I swapped her over to mace, so she needs to learn the mace more. She actually has 23 MP now, which is pretty good. Since the trailer shows the protagonist with a white-gray chocobo in what seemed to be in the early game, I was thinking it might have some exploration, traversal influences in gameplay akin to Final Fantasy XV, where you travel for a long time over a large map. I don't know, I think it's too hard to say yet, because like the end of the trailer showed the guy like getting older. And that could be anything. That could mean like what we saw was a prelude and then the real game starts with him older, or it could be a Final Fantasy XV thing where the whole game is one time period and then suddenly at the end it's later, which is awful, and I hope they don't do that again. I don't know, there's a lot of different things. I don't think we saw enough, really. And you have to keep in mind, too, that it's early enough to where they could actually change what we've seen anyways. So, I think it's more, like, stuff like the overall concept is really the only thing I take away from trailers like these, because anything we see could change. The graphics will probably be different by the time it comes out. The characters might be different. They might change the way the combat works or whatever. Like, so much could change. Only the general concept is really going to stay the same. And I like the general concept of going back to the roots of the series and what is this? I just found a fire with a face, I guess. Like, you know, I like the idea that they're going back to the roots, and I like the idea of having the summons be like part of the main story. So, but everything else, it's like, I don't know, we just kind of have to wait. Sony messed up the pre-orders. Yeah, I haven't even gotten a pre-order yet. I tried and failed, so now I'm waiting. I'm sure there'll be more, because, like, it's still really early, and by the time it comes out, it's going to be almost Christmas, so they're going to want more for people to pre-order for Christmas, so I'm not worried. And I don't need it day one either, because the only games that are coming out day one, I think, are Demon's Soul. Well, there might be more later, but for now, they said, like, Demon's Souls, the Sackboy Adventure, and I think one other game are the release games. Oh, yeah, the Spider-Man game. So, like, I'd love to have Demon's Souls day one, but I can certainly wait. I don't need to have it the day it comes out. What is this? Should I be worried? Yo, Super Orange, thank you so much for the 10 months. Let me do something real quick. I need to grab my water anyways. I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back. I had to, my wife needed a password for our hospital sign-in thing. So a couple of you guys asked about the price point. What do you guys think about the price point? I'm pretty okay with it, to be honest with you. I'm a little biased because I'm buying the system like for my job, so it doesn't affect my wallet as much. But just looking at it from like a perspective of like the gaming industry, 500 is not horrible in terms of like, because the Xbox, let's see, what was the previous generation? What were the prices of the previous generation when they came out? I think it was like, the price of the original PS3 was $600, right? And the price of the original Xbox One was $500. So I think 500 is pretty reasonable, for sure. And the PS4 was 500, and they have an option for 400 as well. So I think that's really good. I mean, I was expecting worse, to be honest. You know, I was 100% expecting it to be worse. 500 is like something I expect when a new console comes out, but this they were beefing it up like this is gonna be the greatest console of all time, so I was expecting them to make it more. Thank you for the 11 months, Vagrant. One more to the full year. It is the Guardian of Eagle's Torch, Shrieker! So I actually made it to the end. I didn't think I was near the end. That is an interesting enemy. Ow. Oh no. Bad time to run out of MP. Ice 8? He looks like a fire skull. How does he have ice? Oh no. Did she just punch? What happened to her mace? Did I accidentally unequip it? Oh no, there it is. I didn't see the mace at first. Okay, this is bad. We do like no damage. Oh, this is bad. This is not what we want. Yeah, we're so dead. We are incredibly dead. But yeah, man, they were beefing it up as like the biggest console ever. So I thought that was their way of telling us like, hey, don't be shocked when it's really expensive. So I'm really happy with that. Now, that does come with the caveat that games might be $70. People are going back and forth on that. To me, it seems like they're definitely making AAA games $70, but some people have argued with me and said it's only some companies. So, I don't know. There's always going to be cheaper games, like remakes and stuff. Always have the chance to be cheaper. And indie games always have the chance to be cheaper, so it's not like you're going to be spending $70 for every single game, but if you're buying the brand new Call of Duty the day it comes out, expect to pay $70. Oh, and then there's the coveted quadruple A video games that they're talking about. I can't wait. I can't wait to pay $120 for a quadruple A game. Put it in my PlayStation 5 and it transforms into an ATM. In front of my very eyes. It better cook me dinner. Yeah, and I mean, PlayStation Plus is still a thing, and they're probably going to have some kind of subscription service. Xbox will, because they already have Game Pass. Wow, we're suddenly doing damage. We might actually make it out alive. Oh my god! Furion! Don't make him angry. Oh my god, Maria's everything improved. Everyone's everything improved. That was incredible. Alright, just gotta make it out of here alive. Lol's in the chat. Oh, I do have high potions. We'll be alright. We got high potions. Forgot I bought these. Yeah, so can you remind me what the PS Plus collection thing is? I kind of missed that. That was the part that I missed. And someone tried to explain it to me, but I didn't understand what they were saying. Is it just like, if you sign up for PlayStation Plus now, you get a bunch of old PS Plus games, or what? Oh, you get the PS5 versions. Okay. How's it going, Lord? Thanks so much for being here. Honestly, I really like that. Because one of Sony's biggest problems, as I like to bring up all the time, is that their release, their console release lineups are always abysmal. So this gives them a way of just being like, when you buy your PS5, you actually have a ton of stuff to play. Granted, it's old games, but still, at least they're base boosted. I mean, anything's better than the PS4, okay? Because the PS4, I played with the message system. Like, that was my game. I was like, I'll send a message to my friend. Hee hee. It's like aim chat. Because that was all there was to do. You could play Blacklight Retribution. Yo, Arco, think of it 777. How's it going, man? You could play Blacklight Retribution and Resogun. And if you were lucky, Knack. And actually, my favorite PS4 release game, I don't know if it was actually a release game or it came out a couple days later, but that puzzle game with the blues theme. Keep forgetting the name of it. That one was good too. But yeah. Yeah, that was about all there was to do. Where are the stairs? Help. I think they're on the left. Yeah, it was bad. I mean, I'm lucky that I just enjoyed the console so much. The PS4 is still my favorite console of all time. I know that sounds crazy, but I really, really like the PS4 a lot. The UI just really speaks to me. I just really enjoy it a lot. So I was having fun just owning a PS4, even though I had nothing to play on it. But I gotta imagine, people that weren't so much into the UI of the PS4 probably freaking hated it when they bought it. They're like, what is this garbage? Oh, I got some crappy shooter game to play. The PS4 was definitely retribution after the PS3. It kind of sucks because I grew up with, like, I didn't grow up with the PS3, but the PS3 I remember as being a great console, like when I got it. But looking back on it, the PS3 kind of blew. Like, it's hard to look back on the PS3 positively. It's just not a great console. They handled the PS3 so poorly. And it's aged really poorly. Whereas you look at, like, the PS2 doesn't even feel like it's aged poorly. I can still play my PS2 and love it and not feel like it's slow or anything. The PS3 just, I hate turning on my PS3. Most people I talk to hate turning on their PS3. I think that's why all these, like, remasters and ports on PS4 make so much money, because no one wants to turn on their PS3. They can be like, well, I own this game on PS3, but I'll buy it again on PS4 because I really don't want to plug in my PS3. Yeah, it's just, I mean, the price point was bad. The UI aged really poorly. They updated the store to the PS4 store without, like, optimizing for the PS3, so if you try to buy anything on the PS3 nowadays, you might as well take off work for the next week. Because it's going to take that long to open up the frickin' store. Who's your Mega Man? Hope you enjoyed. I've been swindled. I like how you redeem a point thing called boo-doo-doo-doo-doo, boo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and yet feel swindled somehow. No, I don't think characters can use their magic if they're dead. That would be kind of weird. They're not dead, they're just sleeping. They're just taking a nap. Did I just... I feel like I just went in the circle. Yeah, you can use bits to vote. You can use anything to vote except gifted subs. just, yeah, they're just sleep casting. I feel like, yeah, I went in a circle. I don't know where these steps are. I'm lost. This is what happens when you just don't even pay attention going up, and then you try to get back down. Yeah, I'll add your missed points later, Arco. And think of it as 777 again. Yeah, when did Disgaea 6 get announced? Because I saw you say that they didn't show it in the show, right? But it did get announced. Oh, it got announced yesterday. During Nintendo Direct. And Blob, thank you so much for the 1,000 bits, dude. Appreciate it a lot. So, it's not only coming out for Nintendo, is it? There we go. No, your vote worked. Should've. It's on PS4 in Japanese. What? How does that work? I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't know you could have like a language exclusive on a console. Unless it's just region exclusive. I don't know, I should have just fleed from this. Oh, we did blind him, or curse him, whatever. Alright. This is going okay. As far as I've heard, the PS5 is completely not backwards compatible. When they told us the PS5 was backwards compatible a long time ago, it was them trying to get in our wallets. And in reality, the only backwards compatibility it has is some PS4 games can play extra crispy on the PS5. Some. Which is kind of like what the Xbox does, but far worse. So... You see how Sony plays their game. Xbox comes out and they're like, the new Xbox X360 X No Scope XX 420 Blaze It is gonna be backwards compatible with a bunch of Xbox One games as well as some Xbox 360 games and original Xbox games too. It's gonna have this huge selection of old games so you can play on it. And then Sony comes out and they realize, oh crap, the only thing our console does is play a couple PS4 games. So instead of saying that, they go, it'll be backwards compatible. And then just leave it at that for the next couple months. So that's how they play their game, you know. You know how it is. That way this whole time we're all like, oh my god, is it going to play PS3 games, PS2 games, PS1 games? What's it going to play? That's how they roll. Which I said from the beginning that it wasn't going to play PS3 games. I knew that for a fact. I thought I had a dream that maybe it had the PS3 store and you could play digital games, but I knew for a fact it was not going to be backwards compatible with PS3 games. Because the PS3 is just a very, very strange very, very strange kind of system. The way that the games were developed for it, those games will only play on a PS3 like ever. So I pretty much knew for a fact that wasn't going to happen. That's not what I heard, Arco. I heard that it only plays some. Okay, well that's good. That's good if it's more than some. I don't know if all those games are like base boosted or if it just straight up plays them. I also don't know if that includes digital games. I hope it does. Could you imagine if, like, the entirety of the PS4's life, they pushed digital games, and then the PS5 came out, and they were like, yeah, you need discs. That's why I'm pretty sure, yeah, that you'll have access to the PlayStation Store. That would be such a kick to the pants. And then us collectors would be like, heh heh. Hopefully they play well and they're not, like, weird. I can't imagine they will be, but you never know. It depends on how it works. If they, like, fully emulate or how they play the PS4 games, but I'd love to see some PS4 games that ran kind of bad run better on the PS5. That would be cool. What if Kingdom Hearts 3 had a solid frame rate? Oh my god. Actually, I think Kingdom Hearts 3 did have a solid frame rate, but I don't think it was 60. Wasn't that like a big deal when it came out? Everyone was like, oh my god, it doesn't even run at 60. Final Fantasy 15 with 30-second load times. Oh my god. What an improvement. I wouldn't say that, Lord. PS5 and the new Xbox are bringing quite a bit to the table. But I understand what you're saying. Like, it definitely doesn't feel the same as like when the PS4 or the PS3 came out. I remember back when the PS3 came out, we thought, like, gaming would never be the same again. And I mean, it wasn't, really. But, like, the jump between PS2 and PS3 was one of the most insane things ever. Yo, Emblem, thank you for the 1,100, dude. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, like picking up a PS3 for the first time was like, oh my god, this is the future. And then having to deal with the PS3's terrible UI for so long, and then getting a PS4 felt like a big jump as well. And I mean, even back in the day, like, the jump between a Super Nintendo and the N64 was like, oh my god, gaming's never gonna be better than this. You know? So I can understand what you're saying, but I do feel like the PS5 is going to be quite a leap. Like, ray tracing and some of the other stuff. Like I said, watch that Demon's Souls trailer, dude. That Demon's Souls trailer will change your mind. You'll be like, oh my god. Because that trailer looked incredible. And it's not all about the graphics. Like, it's just, it runs so smooth. It looks like a whole new, like, feeling. Yeah, I agree. The audio is underrated. I think it could be huge if the audio is as good as it seems like it's going to be. No, Final Fantasy 16 looks bad. Like, even for a PS4 game, it looks bad. Hopefully it improves. I also thought that Call of Duty didn't look that good, which was kind of weird to me because Call of Duty is usually the game that they like sacrifice everything for the graphics, you know? Like, forget gameplay, it's gotta look great. So it was weird to me that like the Call of Duty trailer didn't actually look that great. Demon's Souls was the only one that I looked at and I was like, holy cow, this looks like PS5. The PS3 UI is incredibly slow. It's very hard to go back to once you own a PS4. If you never owned a PS4, then yeah, it probably doesn't feel so bad. But once you own a PS4, you can't go back. Most people that I've ever talked to that own a PS4 and a PS3 never turn on their PS3. I've had several conversations with people. I'm like, you gotta go play Ni no Kuni, and they're like, oh, but PS3. And then the remaster came out, and they were like, yes, finally. Alright, we made it out. We did it. Should I grab the fire now, or go heal first? I mean, I suppose I could just grab it, right? You cannot carry any more items. There. Good job, you put it out, you doofus. Just stick that in our pocket.